Welcome to this week's Hawks Talk. I'm your host, Vivian Sumoski. Today looks a little different as I'm going to give the recent updates on the men's March Madness tournament. There's a lot to unfold, and if you aren't following this year's tournament, there has been a lot that has happened in these two rounds. Starting off with the Hawkeyes, they unfortunately could not make it into the second round again. Going back to the regular season, Iowa lost to their senior day, 77-81 to Nebraska, and later lost the first round of the Big Ten tournament to Ohio State, 73-69. Now, going into the March Madness tournament, this didn't look so good for the Hawks, as it was going to be all or nothing. Some fans had the Hawks winning in their brackets or even making it to the second round, but this year sadly resulted in another loss to Auburn in the first round, 83-75. Many of the other top teams fell in the early rounds before reaching the Sweet 16. That goes for Purdue, Kansas, Indiana, UNC, and Duke. All fell in the first two rounds. Now, the only two #1 seeds in the tournament left are Houston and Alabama. But can they make it to the Elite Eight, the Final Four? Who knows? This year it has been upset after upset, and you never really know the result in any game and what top team could still be going strong. Now, one upset was the #9 seed Miami defeating #1 seed Indiana 70-68, making it to the Sweet 16. Kansas, who was my pick, winning it all last year and ended up taking home the trophy, fell to Arkansas 72-71. It looks like they aren't going to be taking another trophy home this year. The runner-up to last year's trophy, the Blue Devils, had fell before the Sweet 16. It's the 8th seed Tennessee 65-52. Now, one loss that had the whole world in shock was the #1 seed Purdue falling to the 16th seed FDU 63-58. Watching this game unfold, I really thought from the start Purdue was going to make it to the Final Four or even win the whole tournament. But we all know how this tournament goes. Anything can happen. My mouth fell to the floor as FDU took home the win, and Purdue did not take that lightly as their frustration went to their locker room whiteboard. Yes, there is a hole in their whiteboard, and that picture has gone viral on many different platforms. I would definitely not want to be in that locker room after that loss to FDU or that whiteboard because, wow, it did not deserve that. That was something none of us were expecting. But before FDU had one of their biggest wins in the history of their program, FDU was one of the worst teams to ever make it in the tournament, ranking in the 300s by every metric. Most 16-seed teams have to win their conference tournament in order to make the play in the game. In the rare case, FDU fell to Merrimack in the Northeast Conference Championship, but due to Division I rules, Merrimack did not qualify for the tournament, as they went from Division II to Division I in the offseason, allowing FDU to play in the tournament. FDU was also the shortest team in the tournament, facing the tallest team in the tournament. Now, they had their high the first round, but later could not make it to the Sweet 16, falling to Florida Atlantic 78-70. Now, there are also 0 perfect brackets remaining in this year's tournament. Yes, 0 brackets remaining. And I'm kind of scared to see how my bracket is doing so far, and it doesn't look like it's going to be too good. The Sweet 16 games are set to start this Thursday at 5:30 p.m. with Michigan State and Kansas State kicking it off. Along with the Women's March Madness tournament, Iowa's making their way to the Sweet 16, playing Colorado this Friday at 6:30 p.m. Iowa is the only team making it this far. Both the men's and women's Iowa State teams fell in the March Madness tournament, and it looks like the women's team needs to take this trophy to Iowa City along with their victory in the Big Ten tournament. Now, alongside March Madness, Iowa Athletics is starting up baseball, softball, and outdoor track and field. Thanks so much for tuning into this week's Hawks Talk, and stay tuned into DITV for updates and the latest news, all Hawkeye sports. And follow along with me for updates on the 2023 March Madness tournament. I'm Vivian Sumoski. Have a great night.